Hello everyone! Today we will be trying out Fleet Footwork Gwen. Okay, this is actually not my first game, this is like my 5th game, and I've actually been trying out Fleet Footwork Gwen out of suggestion from one of my viewers who is an advocate for it, and I have to say I am converted. I won 3 out of 5 games on it, and take that as you will, but the 2 losses I had, I was doing pretty well if I do say so myself. I present to you now the best game out of those 5 games, and I think it really highlights the strength of Fleet Footwork Gwen. To be honest, I never really tried this rune until last week, and to be frank, it is a great rune for Gwen Jungle. Like, what? How could this be? Well, ladies and gentlemen, just look at the sustain. Look at my first clear. Look how healthy I am. So she just like is very healthy, and Gwen is very vulnerable to invades because usually if you run another rune, the Conqueror, you are at 50% HP after your first 3 camps. And usually if a strong jungler who is aware of Gwen jungle weaknesses, they will invade you and kill you on your Gromp or your like blue buff or your red buff even. And yeah, it's not a good time. So I really recommend this for beginner Gwen junglers. If you're interested in Gwen jungle, definitely try out this rune. There are downsides to this rune. For example, you can't really 1v9 with it, especially late game. Conqueror gives you so much damage late game, and the ramping AP lets Gwen have those like cool montages of just snipping the entire team and getting a pentakill. So you can't really get that with Fleet Footwork. It's definitely a early to mid game rune. I see a great gank opportunity on this Varus and Yumi, which is a guaranteed double kill since they're immobile and pushed up. I pick it up, and then I continue on to the Scuttle Crab. You'll soon see the early game power of Fleet Footwork Gwen. You're better at ganking, and you don't really have to pop your ghost since the rune itself gives you a speed boost, which means you can save your ghost for a more opportune time instead of just popping it and trying to desperately get a kill with Gwen's very weak early game power. She just can't really catch unless they're like super low. Malzahar did get a little greedy there, so it's a good thing I stayed to hover the Garen in case he killed him, and then I would kill the Malzahar because he has no flash. And good thing Garen didn't die, so that was pretty bad for their team. And afterwards, I just proceed to double scuttle, and I get a CS lead on the Echo. And then I just clear my top camps because they spawned, and I don't really want Echo to steal them or anything like that, so I just cycle through them again. And usually, if you have Conqueror as your rune on Gwen jungle and you just ganked some people, you are pretty low in health, right? But because I'm running Fleet Footwork, I'm actually healing off my camp, so I have better sustain and I can be more active on the map as Gwen jungle. Usually she is pretty inactive because you don't really want to feed, because you take damage from failed ganks or successful ganks, and then you also take damage from your camps. So you are very low HP and you always have to constantly recall, and it kind of messes up with your tempo. And Fleet Footwork Gwen counteracts that, and yeah, it's just a very good rune. I highly recommend it. So we just saw Mordekaiser flash and ult on Quinasa, so he's very vulnerable and he can't really escape, and I still have my ghost and I have Fleet Footwork, so I can just chase this guy down this very long top lane. And that's the power of Fleet Footwork. You can get ganks and mid and bot without using your summoner, and you can like save your summoner for an opportune time such as this. And after getting Mordekaiser killed, I am just like super fat. Like, damn, do you see how many kills and ganks I got with no items? And I'm just going to clear these bot camps, and if nothing happens bot lane, just do the Drake, try to sneak it, and yeah, action ensues, so I just follow up this Nautilus. We unfortunately do not kill them, but at least they use their summoners. Like, the Varus has no flash or ghost, so he can't really participate in the fight, and Yumi is just being Yumi, she's not very helpful, so I don't think they can contest this dragon, and we just get free, and by scaring them off, Corky has a little breathing room to push out his wave and recall. So we get this dragon, and unfortunately Echo crossed map and got the grubs, which is very smart of him because I would not play around a Yumi virus lane either. I don't think you're going to get any drakes in the early game, so good on him for getting those grubs. Since Echo took the grubs, he's probably checking out my top camps, and I just concede them. I'm not going to get there on time, so I just take the scuttle and I go into another bot gank, since this Varus and Yumi keep pushing up without any vision, which means free kills for me. I see Echo bot side, which means free grubs for my team. They already got 3, so I really want to get 3 for my team. One way for a losing team to get back in the game is to get all 6 grubs. This enables them to push out waves, get plates, get turrets, which means getting bounties and gold and leveling the playing field. Unfortunately, I have to sacrifice some bot pressure to Echo and let him attempt to dive my bot lane. He has one of the best turret diving ults in the game. They do end up managing to kill Nautilus, which is very bad for Corky because he doesn't really have anyone to help defend his turret with him, so thankfully he just backs off, he respects the 3-man turret dive, he just leaves. Like, even though he loses minions still and gold, at least he's not giving the enemy team more gold by sacrificing his life. And since they spent so many resources into killing Nautilus and trying to kill Corky, the enemy bot lane, they just recall, and Echo is probably low on health and doesn't have his ult, so he is probably in base right now, and I just try to get this dragon really fast. I have 2 smites up. Wow, I took this dragon really fast. I finished it up with one smite instead of 2, but I was planning on using 2, and luckily Echo didn't get here on time. He was going to try and steal it, but I just finished it up with my Q. So the beauty of Footwork Gwen is that you have a very healthy player. You heal off your camps, and a healthy Gwen means a very active Gwen, and an active Gwen means more participation in lanes, more map pressure. So this Echo makes a bad play, and I just punish their team. I just kill him, and then I kill Mordekaiser. So I recall, spend my money on Merc Treads, because Mordekaiser and Malzahar have a very anti-carry CC ult. Garen gets to kill Malzahar because Malzahar can only focus one person, and if there's a lot of enemies nearby, he can't possibly kill all of them all by himself, so Garen just executes them and kills them, and Corky recalls. And the enemy team probably just see Garen all alone on the map and collapse on him and kill him. But they have to burn a lot to kill him because this Garen is pretty fed. He has a shutdown, and of course it goes to Varus. So they just killed Garen, and they think it's a good idea to pop down the Rift Herald. Of course, little do they know that I'm going to come in for his link. I'm going to stop this Rift Herald. Well, I don't really stop it, but I do punish them for it. I kill Varus, and I can't quite catch Echo and Yumi, but Corky comes back and kills the Echo, and I help them finish up the Yumi. While I was in base spending my gold, this Mordekaiser is pushed up and bullying this Nasus. So I come by and I pick up a kill. I'm at 11 kills right now, isn't that amazing? And I wouldn't have snowballed this hard without fleet footwork. And I'm pinging here to go to the dragon after I push out this wave, since there's no one mid. It's always a good idea to push out waves before you start an objective. Of course, this Nautilus is pinging me to help kill this Malzahar, so I don't fully get all the creeps, but I follow up and I'm pretty strong, so even if there is someone there, I could either murder both of them or murder one, and one gets away with his life, which is exactly what ends up happening. And with their jungler dead, it's another free dragon. So after getting the dragon and clearing my bot and top camps, I recalled and got Riftmaker. And now here I am just trying to take as many turrets as possible to end the game as quickly as possible. We have Nessus, we have Gwen, we have Urine. That means a lot of map pressure. We just eat waves and take turrets fast. And when you rotate to a potential fight, you might have enough time to pick up a juicy crab, which is what I do here. So I pop my W in case Malzahar has his ult back up, and of course he doesn't use it, he just flashes away, and I'm stuck with Mordekaiser. It would have been nice if I had my W inside the Mordekaiser ult, but I didn't, and I relied on my Fleet Footwork and Gwen's passive to heal and survive his ult. Thank God for Murky Treads too, imagine if I was in there longer, right? So after taking my camps and the enemy junglers' camps, I recall and spend my money on the needlessly large rod towards a Rabadon's. Of course, this Echo does not want us getting soul, so he tries to steal it, but we just kill him as he jumps in too early, and it's soul for our team. It's Mountain Soul, it's just like the best soul in the game. And with Echo dead, they don't have a jungler to contest this Baron, so it's a free Baron for my team as well. And if Yumi falls behind, she just doesn't provide any vision, so the enemy team is in the dark. They're in the dark for most of this game. It's just a disaster if you have a Yumi behind in your team. And also if there's like no carry for the Yumi to latch herself onto, it's just game over for them. It's an automatic win for us. Unfortunately, the Echo did not get ahead. If he were to get ahead and the Yumi were to latch onto him, he'd be like unkillable. We'd never get a shutdown because she'd just keep him alive and he'd have his ult up and keep himself alive. It's just really obnoxious. It's a obnoxious duo. So we have Baron buff, we have a blue buff. I did not get the red buff because it's all the way on the other side of the map. So I'm just going to push this bot lane because there's so much map pressure. Everyone on my team is super far ahead. They can't really catch any of us. I mean, they could collapse on one person, but that one person could just run away and buy us time in other lanes to push forward. And this is exactly what happens. I just push this bot lane and I get into their base. I'm just going to back off here because my team has backed away and Nasus has died, so the enemy team can just collapse on Nautilus and me, and I don't think I have the power to 1v4 or 1v5 just because I'm not running Conqueror, I am running Fleet Footwork, and it's not a very good late game rune, and we are in the late game right now. Also, Malzahar could just ult me and I would have no ability to fight back. Aaron does a crazy flash silence and then he just one-shots the Yumi, and there's no Varus, there's no Yumi, we could just keep on pushing now. Who cares about Nasus, it's Garen and me, we can just take their entire base. Unfortunately for me, I do not have my ult for the space fight. I didn't expect Garen to like one-tap both the Varus and Yumi that quickly, so I popped out my needles and I didn't hit anything because they disappeared. Overall, I highly recommend Fleet Footwork for Gwen Jungle. It provides sustain from her camps, and it lets her be more active on the map, and it lets you not get invaded. You are healthy, so you can withstand invades, and you can full clear normally instead of recalling for some health back, which can mess up your tempo. If you are new to Gwen Jungle, definitely put this rune on, as you can survive invades, and you can gank easier. Like, I got 4 kills, I ganked all lanes. It was a really good Fleet Footwork game, and it allowed me to snowball. I like to think of Fleet Footwork as training wheels for Gwen Jungle, just because it's very punishing early to run Conqueror since you have a lack of sustain. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.